Sam Teicher is the co-founder and chief reef officer at Coral Vita, an organisation that grows corals to restore the world's dying reefs. Great to have you with us. We've been hearing these warnings about the damage to the Great Barrier Reef for years and years. The bleaching events, the warming seas. Has nothing improved?
Unfortunately, things are getting worse. So start with the fact that my job even exists. I didn't grow up thinking I was going to become a coral farmer. I started a for-profit company to scale reef restoration. That's my business, but I'll also be the first thing to do. The first thing to do for reefs is to stop killing them. That we need to solve for climate change and overfishing and dredging and pollution. And sadly, here where I am in the Bahamas, 80% of the coral reefs are dead. And having grown up dreaming of visiting the Great Barrier Reef for most of my life, I went there a few years ago, and you can already see the damage. So there still is time to act. We still have the ability through our industrial and government leaders to solve, to protect places like the Great Barrier Reef, but we definitely are on the clock right now.
Well, I mean, this is the problem, isn't it? Because at the moment, you've got this political argument involving the Australian government, which doesn't want the Great Barrier Reef listed as being in danger. It won't commit to zero carbon emissions. So how on earth is anything going to be done that will save the Great Barrier Reef?
Well, I think we need a shift in thinking, because what we're often hear about is there's not enough money or there's not enough opportunity, but really what we're talking about is willpower. And again, thinking about the fact that we're doing Coral Vita as a business, putting aside my love for nature, this isn't just some issue for tree huggers. We're talking about billions and billions of dollars in tourism. In places like the Bahamas, I went through Hurricane Dorian. It was the strongest storm to ever hit this country. Coral reefs and mangroves saved lives because they act like natural seawalls. You think about 25% of all marine life depending on this one ecosystem of coral reefs. So as they die, this is not just an ecological tragedy, it's a socioeconomic catastrophe. And I think there's a real opportunity to recognize that value, to also see that there's a whole restoration economy opportunity by protecting and restoring these ecosystems. But for businesses and government leaders who often see things just in terms of dollars and cents, we are talking about a lot of dollars and cents, and we're also talking about people's lives and livelihoods. So it's in actually the best interest of Australia and a lot of these places to proactively protect and then restore these ecosystems rather than sacrifice them for short-term gain.
Right. So I'm really interested in how your business works. Growing coral, does that mean you can replace dead coral? Can you go in and fix the Great Barrier Reef?
There's an opportunity to help keep it alive. I will not say that we're a silver bullet. Again, we need to proactively protect it. But what we do is we grow corals up to 50 times faster, so months instead of decades, using natural healing processes, make them more resilient against things that are killing them, like warming and acidifying oceans, and then we outplant them into the ocean. This is a process that's been around for about 20 years. It's largely done by NGOs and marine institutes. What we're really doing that's different is using land-based coral farming. So I'm actually in our lab right now in the Bahamas, where we can grow mass amounts of corals from a single site. But then again, looking at that value around reefs, we sell reef restoration as a service to hotels and insurers and governments and corporations, while then turning our farms into both tourism attractions as well as education centers for local communities. So it's our hope that we can unlock funding to do ecosystem scale restoration. We want to work in places like the Great Barrier Reef. But again, underscoring this, doing this in tandem with proactive measures to protect those ecosystems in the first place. That's how we preserve reefs for future generations, so that hopefully you'll be able to go out there and dive there yourself and maybe even come plant some coral with us.
Well, it's great to hear the kind of work you're doing. Thank you very much indeed for joining us, Sam Teicher there.